Good morning. So it is, what is today? July 6th? Tuesday? No, excuse me, Tuesday, July 7th. And over this weekend, our neighbor's radishes were ready to be picked, so he picked some radishes and brought them over. We're going to do something with them. I'm not sure entirely what, but I have cleaned radish greens here, which I'd like to use. My regular, or the bases, the roots, these are gigantic, by the way. But this part, I'm going to do a roast radish another morning, but not today. I just want to use the radish greens. I've heard that you can eat radish greens, and I really want to use them. So, I've been looking online. I had a few things to see what you can do with radish greens, and there's a potato soup that you can make, there's a lentil soup that you can make, and then there's a lentil curry, Indian curry that you can make, and that got me to thinking, well, what if I did my chicken masala without the chicken, so it's just masala, and kind of made something on that order, but took a twist with the lentil and radish greens for the curry. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to try it, see if my idea works. It's experimental. This is a WTF day. So if you haven't figured out, WTF, it's words that I can't say on YouTube. So WTF day with radish greens, because I'd really like to find a recipe or use a recipe that is going to work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get these radish greens wilted down, and then we're going to blend them up, because radish greens, I don't think this camera is going to show them very well. Maybe. But you could see, maybe you could see if it'll focus. There's little tiny spines. Little tiny, like, prickers all over it. And they're on the leaves too. The leaves are kind of hairy. So when I was picking them, I noticed that it's a lot, like, when I was picking them, I thought I was sticking my hand in nettles. But it didn't sting and stay burning, so obviously not nettles, they're radish greens. So we're going to cook these down, and then we're going to use my blender and blend them up into a paste with some chicken broth. I'm going to make chicken broth from my bouillon, or my better than bouillon, and that's where we're going to go. So we are going to start with our pan here. We're going to go with a medium heat. And I am going to put in my stick of butter, get that melting. And with that melting, I'm going to put in my onions. And I hope this is all going to fit in my blender, because if not, it's going to be a problem, is it not? I think so. And then my garlic. Shut up, Zip. Nobody can hear over you. Garlic. One teaspoon equals a clove, right? Is that what it said? Somewhere in here. I read it at one time. I think it's 1 teaspoon equals a clove. No, half a teaspoon equals a clove. Okay, so we're gonna go with, there's 1 teaspoon, there's 2 teaspoons, so that's supposed to be 4 cloves. That should be plenty of garlic. Give this a stir. I'm sorry you guys keep getting boob photos at some point. We're going to figure out how to do this without getting chest photos. Give this a stir. Onions are doing their thing. Butter's melting. Alright, in this I am going to put, see, I already did garlic, so I don't need more garlic, so that can go away. I'm going to put, let me see, oh, turmeric sounds good. I got some turmeric here. I need my measuring spoons. There's my half teaspoon. Okay. Turmeric, I'm going to put 1 full teaspoon of turmeric in here. We're going to get Indian. This is Indian, not Native American Indian. So yes, saying Indian is proper. Thank you. Okay, 1 teaspoon of turmeric in there. And then we're going to go with 1 teaspoon of cumin. No, I think we'll only leave it at a half a teaspoon of cumin, not 1 teaspoon of cumin. We'll leave it at a half. Put in a half a teaspoon of mustard seed. That sounds good. Yellow mustard seed. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of ginger because I really like ginger. That's 1. Again, this is a half measure, so 2 makes 1 teaspoon. Half. And that's 2 teaspoons of ginger. Okay, I put those in there because they like to get happy with the butter. When I make my other dish and I'm making my chicken, this gets happy in the pan with my chicken. It's the very first thing that goes in is my spices. If I need to add more later, then I'll add more later. But at the moment, this is what I want. Alright, so I have a stick of butter, approximately 4 cloves of garlic, that is 2 teaspoons of minced garlic from my minced garlic, and 1 white onion, getting happy in my pan. You see? Getting happy. And that wonderful orangish color that you see in there, that's the turmeric. Turmeric does that. And turmeric will stain your clothes, so be careful. Okay? If you're wearing white, you will never be able to wear that shirt again, or pants, or whatever, because they will be a lovely, lovely color of yellow. Alright, that is being lovely. My butter is all melted. My onions are starting to become translucent. So, I am going to start adding turnip greens, and as I said, I washed these. Now, all I did was I cut off the end of the. These are radish greens. Did I say turnip greens? I'm sure I did. Okay, so I cut off the radish. The radish is in a bowl on the side here. So all I have is the greens, and I'm just going to stick them in right like this because I'm going to stick them in the blender after they wilted down. Okay? So I'm just going to grab them, stick them in my pot. And hopefully there's enough steam in here to cook them, otherwise I'm going to have to add some water. So, Let those cook. That's about half of them. That's about half of what I had. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to add some water in here. Right at the moment I have, my butter is nothing left to it, and my onions are browning in the bottom. So, can't add anything more to this pot really at the moment. So I'm going to get some water in there. Okay, I'm going to go with 2 cups of water going in. Now that's okay, because I'm going to put lentils in later, so we're not over watering here. I can get another handful in there. Try to get them down in there. Maybe you can see the spines on this leaf. This is a really spiny leaf. Let me see. Yeah, can you see how spiny that leaf is? It's got a lot of spines on it. It's very... maybe you can't see it there, but... Anyway. Yeah, very, very prickly. Doesn't taste bad. It tastes like the outside of a pea pod. And I happen to like to eat pea pods, so I don't think it has a bad taste to it. Okay, so we're still wilting. I'm putting in the last bunch now. This is the last bunch, last bit going in. Alright, that's good. So we're wilting. That last bunch is not quite wilted yet, but it's getting there. My water is boiling, or my butter and water and all of the other things that are boiling here in the pot. This small simmer. Slow simmer, low simmer. Not much to it. Alright, we're going to leave that to simmer just a little while longer. Give it a couple more minutes. I'm going to put you on pause for a second. Okay, see how we're all wilted down? That's pretty good. Alright, we've been simmering here for a little bit, so I'm going to add my bouillon. This is better than bouillon. It's a paste. I like it. And it says to dissolve 1 teaspoon to equal 1 bouillon cube in 8 ounces of boiling water. Well, we have used 2 cups of water, and a cup of water is 8 ounces, so that means that I have 16 ounces of liquids in there. But I've also got that stick of butter, and we're going to be adding more because we're going to be adding a can of Lentil tomatoes and chilies, and we're going to be adding lentils, which requires more water, otherwise you're just going to have a paste. So I am going to take, this is a teaspoon measure, I'm heaping it. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 heaping teaspoons of better than bouillon. And I got a little bit left in my jar. But that's going to, should accommodate all of the water that I'm going to put in here. So I'll probably end up using approximately 6 cups of liquid by the end of this, and that should be about 6 teaspoons right there, because I used heaping. So I'm going to get this dissolved in there. Yes, at the moment it's highly, highly concentrated. This is also going to be all the salt that you need. This stuff is packed full of salt. You do not need to add salt. No salt. This also packed with salt. You don't need more salt. Paste, tomato paste, packed with salt. You don't need more salt. There's plenty of salt in the stuff that you're using. The butter had salt in it. I don't need to add more salt. Okay? Alright. Now this is all wilted, dissolved, and ready. We're going to see how talented I am. Alright, so this pan has kind of a space where it's designated to pour out, so it will pour easily. And as long as I don't splash or tip over my blender jar, we should be okay. So we're going to get all of this. I don't have a food processor. Would this be easier in a food processor? Oh, I'm sure it would be immensely easier in a food processor. I don't have one. I have a blender. So, blending it is. Okay. That's in, more or less. The less part is on the countertop. I'm going to go over to that countertop over there and blend it, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so I blended this for approximately 3 minutes on. My blender has a low and a high, and then it has 8 settings in between. So I had it on low 3, which is considered a blend, and this is what I've got. Okay, so it looks kind of like watered pesto. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a watered pesto. Okay, I'm going to put this, I don't want this pan anymore. I'm going to put this in a bigger pan because I'm going to be adding my tomatoes. So now I've got my saucepan, or my big skillet pan here. I'm going to add my watered pesto in there. Alright. And at the moment, that's pretty good. Just the way it is. I'd put it on something, like it would be nice on a meat or on a rice. But anyway, again, we're on a medium heat. I'm going to keep this around because I'm going to need more water. And since I'm going to need more water, I'm going to use this to get my water, and eventually that'll all clean out and go into the pan. So, I'm going to get my lentils going here in my pan. And yes, y'all are going to shriek and scream and say you didn't sort your lentils. You're supposed to sort them. You're supposed to look through them. Well, I've never really had a problem with my peas. I haven't found bugs in them. I haven't found rocks in them. I don't find clumps of dirt in them. So I don't know what the big deal is. I don't find bad ones. I don't know. So anyway, I just kind of go like this, and if there is something that catches my eye, then I pick it out, but I'm not too fussy. I figure anything in here isn't really going to kill me if I end up eating it. Okay, even the bugs, they're not really going to kill me. They're just added protein. Alright. Well, lentils are in. Lentils are going to need to simmer for 20 to 30 minutes until they are soft. And they should soak up this water and get good in here. I am going to also add my tomatoes at this time. Okay, so this is Rotel. It's diced tomatoes and green chilies. Put this in because it's got the green chilies in it, and then I don't have to open a can of green chilies and only use a quarter of it. So this is all in one, already there, what I want it to be. Not messing around with more cans than I need. This is a large can of tomato paste. I don't have a small one. I would prefer to have a small one in this, but I don't have one on hand, so I'm going to use a large one. It has to work. Can paper in there. Yuck. Yummy. I'm going to stir this up. And we're still over medium heat. Give this a stir in. Well, lentils are going to take on a lot of this tomato flavor as well. Oh, and look at that. We have brown and green goo. But that's okay. Who cares what it looks like as long as it tastes good? And it's probably the lighting, because I'm sure it's red, not brown. And then who knows? Okay. At this point, I'm going to taste and see what I've got. Probably tastes a whole lot like tomatoes and a whole lot like nothing else. So we'll see. I'm gonna make a taste. Yep, a whole lot of tomatoes and a whole lot of nothing else. Alright. Yes, you saw me just do that. I just ate uncooked lentils. That's okay. I like them. Now this is my garam masala, and I don't know if you guys have ever smelled garam masala, but oh my goodness. It smells like India. It is amazing. So, I have a tablespoon measure here, and I'm going to take 2 tablespoons and spread it out in here. This garam masala I made myself. I found a recipe somewhere, I believe it was on allrecipe.com, for garam masala, make it yourself. I bought all of the spices, put them together, mixed them up, followed the directions, and oh man, I tell ya, it is yummy stuff. Yummy, yummy, yummy in my tummy. Alright, now this is getting really thick to the point where it's splattering. I know it's going to get much thicker with those lentils in there. So, get that water going in here. Okay, so this is approximately 2.5 more cups. I'm going to quick set it on my blender so it cleans the bowls of my blender. It really didn't do what it normally does. Okay, well, I'm not going to complain. It's cleaner than it was. We're going to get more of the goodness out of there. Okay, 2.5 cups of water. Alright, and then we got tomato paste already in here. We got our diced Rotel. And excuse me if I call it Rotella. I grew up calling it Rotella, and it's Rotel. I was just informed of that this week as I was looking for it. You mean Rotel? Yes. Perhaps. Take me to that. Yes, that's what I want. Rotella. No, this is Rotel. Okay. That's what happens when you only look for a can in a certain design and you've never actually read the can. Okay. So we have a very good brown soupy mess here. We're going to let this simmer cover on, and we are on medium, and we're going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes. Okay, we're back at 20 minutes, and I have stirred this about 4 times in that 20 minutes. And I just tasted it a second ago. I'm not going to taste it again, otherwise I'm going to burn my mouth. But the lentils are not fully cooked yet, or at least not as cooked as I like them to be. Super mushy, and they are not. So, we are going to pause and go for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. This has been on for 30 minutes. I did 20, I got back to you, I added 10, no, and then I added another 10, so we're up to 40 minutes, 40 minutes at a simmer, and now the lentils are finally to where I like it. So, this is going to taste good over or using some kind of bread as a dip. Normally I would make naan bread. I am not making naan bread today because it just takes too dang long. So I have some of these steak rolls that I picked up at Walmart they're called French steak rolls. And I got them off the reduced rack, and they're normally three something. Let's see, $3.98, $3.98 anyway. But I got them off the reduced rack, and they were $2.51 for 24 rolls. They're a good size roll, and I'm cutting them in half. And then I'm going to put margarine on these, and then I'm going to sprinkle them with garlic powder, and then sprinkle them with a little bit of salt, because I don't have garlic salt. So I'm going to make garlic and then put salt on it. So I'm going to sprinkle them with what I have, and it'll be perfect, because it's what I grew up doing, so it's great. Okay, but to finish what we've got going on here, before I put that in there, I'm going to put... Okay, let me finish my directions on the garlic bread. The garlic bread, after you do your garlic things, put them in an oven at 425 for between 5 and 10 minutes, and then it's all good. Okay, back to here. Our WTF Indian something or another with radish greens. Okay, the lentils are finally to a place where I like them. The flavor at this point is extremely hot to me. Because of course, the jalapenos that are in the Rotel, and then the garam masala spice has chili powder in it. So To me, it's hot. So when I make Mexican dishes, the absolute most wonderful thing, or not Mexican, when I make Indian dishes, the most wonderful thing, when you get to this point and you're at the last 5 or 10 minutes, you take, now normally I would use Greek yogurt. I don't have any Greek yogurt right now. I have sour cream. I am going to use the same amount of sour cream that I would normally use with Greek yogurt. I substitute them interchangeably. If something calls for sour cream and I don't have it, I will use Greek yogurt if I have that. Okay, so sour cream, Greek yogurt, for me they're the same thing. They make the same flavors or similar flavors that I can deal with. Alright, so this is just a regular table teaspoon. Right now it's got sour cream on it, but it's just a regular table teaspoon, like you would put at your table and eat with. And I'm going to put in 3 heaps of this. 1, 2, 3. Heck, why not put 4? Okay, 4 heaps of the sour cream. 4 heaping scoops of sour cream in there. That is so yummy. Alright, we're going to stir this in. Now that's going to give it a bit of a sweetness. It'll calm that heat down. We want to calm the heat down. Okay, so that's what we're doing. The sour cream is calming the heat. Next, masala normally has a cream to it. It's a creamy tomato sauce, normally. Okay, my recipe that I usually use is a pint of heavy whipping cream. So a pint is 2 cups. So again, my 2-cup measure. Yes, I shook my heavy whipping cream, took out the top, whatever. Alright, there's 2 cups of heavy whipping cream going in. One note about this, I hope you are not cooking along with me at the moment, and that you are listening to this before you decide to cook this, because I never put my notes in order. Anyway, this pan is a 6-quart pan. 6 quarts, okay? My 5-quart pan will not do it. Your 5-quart pan will not do it. You will run out of space and you will be watching all of this lovely cream go right over the edge as you are stirring it, okay? You need 6 quarts or bigger. Now, that does not mean that it has to be a fry pan like this. You can use your spaghetti pan. You can use, you know, whatever. It's an 8-quart soup pan. Whatever you got. Soup kettle. Whatever you've got. But it's got to be 6 quarts or bigger, or you're never going to make it, okay? So make sure that you are watching your sizes. 6 quarts or bigger. Alright, now, this is very, very important. Once you get this dairy in here, you need to turn this down to low. Low, low, low. It is going to bubble. This dairy will burn. It will burn. You do not want it to burn. It tastes awful. Alright? So, we are just going to get this mixed in. And then we are going to let it simmer, stirring kind of frequently, about every 2 to 3 minutes. Give it a stir. Alright? And we're going to leave that for about 10 minutes, just like that. I'm going to put this, or at least the amount of time it's going to take me to finish this garlic bread. And then I'll be back with you. So just let it simmer. Make sure you stir it. Stir it. Okay, so we're back. I'm going to call this lentil curry with radish greens. And there's our garlic bread ready to go in place of naan bread, because I'm not going to make it. And this stuff is still steamy hot, and I just took out the garlic bread. And, yeah, so that was $4.25 for 7 minutes. And this is what I got. $4.25, 7 minutes. It's crunchy. It's hot. It's gonna hurt my hands. Okay, and this stuff is yummy. Yummy, 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 yummy. So, I found a use for radish greens. Lentil curry. And, yep. I could eat that all day. Good stuff. Alright. So thank you for tuning in for another WTF Tuesday. Maybe we'll make this a thing. WTF Tuesday. What to do with your garden scraps. I think that sounds great. Alright. See you next week.